This video sees us make yet another return to the south of Wales for a hands-on adventure across the country exploring abandonments both old and new. Join us as we discover everything from an abandoned space-age rubber factory to the shell of one of Wales' last castles, as well as a steelworks train depot. We will cover the width and breadth of the valley's lost heritage. Our trip began with a visit to the Bryn Dunlop Semtex works. Whilst this Semtex didn't make plastic explosives, they did make rubber. All that survives of the factory today is the boiler house. Built at the turn of the 1950s, its extremely modern design was as unusual as it was highly praised. The boilers were fed by locally mined coal, dispensed via these large hoppers in the ceiling. After a difficult climb in the rain, we made it on top of the original tramway to see the site from another perspective. It contrasts quite strongly to the Asda and Costa which stand today on site of the rest of the factory. Not deterred by the weather, our next destination was the mystical ruin of a huge castle, although it was not fit for tourists. After a stealthy approach, we were greeted with this truly spectacular sight.
There's holes out there.
Reaching the entrance, it was as if we were transported to another world.
Must be like the central staircase. Or was, yeah. Pretty cool, isn't it? I don't think there's anyone out there, is there?
This glorified manor was built in 1626, quite some time after the original medieval castles. It was actually one of the first faux castles to be built in Wales, and even had a visit from King Charles I. The original castle was burnt down in 1785, so was rebuilt with subsequent alterations. Passed down generations through the Morgan family, it was finally put up for sale in 1935 as fortunes declined. The British Army used it as a base in 1941 when it caught fire again. It remains today as a ruin, with its wooden contents gutted and only the ornate Gothic stonework remaining. After tiptoeing around the ruin, it was time to leave as the sun set. As a new day of our adventure began, we would fast forward in time back to industrial decline. This shell of a building, probably built in the 1950s or 60s, stands amongst a long abandoned railway depot. Its use is unknown, but perhaps it was involved in the servicing of locomotives, or was an office, or maybe both. We couldn't help but see what was inside. The building was in pretty rough shape. Still, another building added to our Urbex tour. But round the corner, something more interesting remains. One of Britain's biggest steel manufacturers dominates this area, looming in the distance. Their premises have shrunk in recent times following cheaper imports from China, Abandoned around 2009, this yard would have brought in coal to fuel the nearby steelworks. Whilst not traditionally attractive, edgelands like these help to tell the story that makes places what they are today. Whilst these trains aren't going anywhere anytime soon, it wasn't long before we had to leave Wales and leave its abandoned relics behind. Still, in their decay, they rest in peace. Whilst all good things come to an end, new adventures are yet to be written. This video concludes our Abandoned Wales series. If you haven't seen the other parts, go and check them out, there's some epic finds. We hope you enjoyed seeing somewhere further afield, and we did our best to try and go beyond the point to start to understand what really shapes these places and their communities.